Okay, a quick on-the-go update. You can see I've started putting in the soil mix, the growing media, onto the top of the last of the building, or mulching fabric, sorry, you can see there. And I've used these two buckets actually. I've been bucketing it from the heats because I don't have vehicle access to this bed behind the shed, and I just found that buckets were good across the width of this bed because you can dump them if you like up against each other. It's sort of like a paddock dump on a mine site, and then I'm just going to use the rake to lightly go over the top and flatten those out. It's a whole lot less work. The other advantage, although I had wheelbarrow access to the garden, I could have loaded the wheelbarrows up one at a time. The problem with the wheelbarrows is I did one load with the wheelbarrow when I first put the aggregate in, and you can see there's a slight tear in the top of the plastic sheeting. So in the end I ended up with a wheelbarrow mound too big anyway. So this bucket load paddock dumping option, it looks like a lot more work, but it's not. It turns out to be a lot less when you have to flatten that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten those out lightly with a rake, and then I'm going to apply a broadcasted layer of the compound fertiliser across the top. I'm then going to put another layer of growing media on top, which will have all of the chicken manure and the growing media in the bags that I've got all mixed in, so there'll be a lot more organic matter content. I'm also going to incorporate and hand mix in fertiliser into that top layer, which is going to be directly in the root zone for growth for the plants. And yeah, fingers crossed she all goes good. The other thing too at this stage I thought about letting you know is that whenever I'm going to be working in this garden, I don't want to penetrate when I'm digging the garden over with a fork or a spade, or when I'm putting in garden stakes, to hold plants up. I don't want to actually penetrate that layer of mulch fabric. So well worth considering when you do build your own to remember where that level is. And I'm lucky in this sense because that building fabric level is exactly on the same level as the separation of these two main outside framework boards. So all I have to do is consider that when I'm putting my fork in. Something, just a little tip anyway going forward, you don't want to penetrate that because you don't want finer sediment leaking into the watered reservoir, sort of 20 mil aggregate base or foundation to the garden bed.